Hi everyone, it's Andrea over at Sewspire, and I'm here with a little bonus tutorial for you. I'm going to show you how to make an awesome heavy-duty wristlet key fob strap. I'm going to tell you some tips for keeping this hardware attached. In addition, I'm going to show you how to sew this sweet little coordinating mini wallet that has a little strap that you can attach to the split ring on this hardware. It has a snap closure and it is lightly padded there and designed to hold business cards, credit cards, debit cards just perfectly. The two pieces make a wonderful set. Obviously, you can make them independently, but when paired together, they make a cute little gift, and they coordinate with this week's small Presslock purse, which we made on Friday. They will also coordinate with the small Presslock wallet, which we are going to make next Friday, noon Eastern time, here on the Sewspire YouTube channel. So if you enjoy this project, please do click the like button and subscribe to the channel. So shall we get started? Okay, so for this project, you are going to need some heavy-duty 1 1/4 inch strapping, or webbing they call it. It comes in lots of different colors. I like to order it in the 10-yard rolls to save a little money. I'll put the link to my preferred source down in the notes for you. So you'll need a 12-inch cut of that 1 1/4 inch webbing for the wristlet key fob. You're going to need a 5-inch by 12-inch cut of quilt weight cotton material, and you're going to need a heavy-duty key fob hardware set, and this has the little ring on it, and by heavy duty I mean it has the 3 teeth there. The third tooth right in the center is one of the keys to getting this hardware to stay on the fob. So I will also link to the source in which I get these little key fob caps at as well, and that's what we'll use to craft the key fob for the mini wallet, which is perfect for holding business cards, driver's license, a couple credit cards, and will attach to the wristlet key fob. You are going to need a 4 1/2 inch by 2 inch piece of quilt weight cotton, and 4 pieces of quilt weight cotton, which are 4 1/2 inches wide by 7 inches long. And one of those panels will be backed with the Annie Soft and Stable, and I have stitched in little divider lines there right at the halfway marks. And you will do that with just one piece of the Annie Soft and Stable and the quilt weight cotton. All right, so we are going to begin with the mini wallet, and then I will show you how to craft the wristlet key fob, which we will be able to attach to our mini wallet. So we're going to fold this little bit of fabric into a 4-ply strap. Press that in half long ways, and then open that up and bring the outer edges inward to meet on that center press line, and then fold that over. I'm going to run a row of stitching down the open edge and the opposite edge to finish. This little ring on the key fob is going to get attached to this little fabric tab. I am not going to attach that in advance because it's not very difficult to just slide that split ring on here after the wallet is built. So fold that little tab in half and then just trim off those raw edges there so you have a nice clean edge. And then you are going to take 2 of your 4.5 by 7 inch panels, and you're going to press those in half so that you have a nice pocket there. So this folded edge will become the top of the pocket. Just run a row of stitching across each of those pockets to finish. And those are what my little pocket panels look like. And those pockets get positioned on top of the quilted fabric, and they are going to be positioned a 1/2 inch from that center stitch line. So there is a little bit of overhang at the bottom of this, and that's perfectly fine. But you want to net yourself about 1 inch of space here in the middle of that. And then you're going to fold over that little fabric tab there, and you're going to position it towards the top of one of those pockets. Temporarily, I am going to hold that in place with a clip. And then the remaining body panel is going to get positioned right sides down on top of this little pocket sandwich that we're making. Make sure that your little strap tab does not slip, and you're going to have to lift up those pockets there where they're overhanging and make sure that your bottom body panel and your top body panel are still aligned. If you want, you could trim off the excess from those pockets. I typically stitch it and then trim the excess at the end. So just get a couple of clips along the side here so that you can hold everything in place. Here's what it looks like on the back, and here's the front. And then using 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, I'm going to stitch up one long edge, across one short edge, and back down one long edge. I'm going to leave this bottom short edge open so I can turn this. When I get to that little strap tab, I'm going to back stitch to reinforce. And so I have stitched the long edge across the top and the remaining long edge. Now I'm going to trim everything up to 1/4 inch. And this is when one side of that pocket excess will be coming off. And then I want to reach inside and turn my wallet around right sides facing out, and I'm going to need to poke out my corners well. And so now I have a raw edge that's open on the base there that has my little strap tab on it. And then I have a nicely finished pocket on the opposite side. I do like to test fit these just to make sure that my seam allowance was consistent, and you can see that business card fits in there absolutely perfect. So will your actual debit or credit cards or your ID. So now we're going to use a technique I call the 4th seam to finish this wallet beautifully. So you're going to take this pocket here that has the raw edge, and you're going to turn it around to the opposite side. And so now I have my finished pocket on this side, and then on the opposite side I have my unfinished pocket there. And my little strap tab is now tucked inside of that pocket. I'm going to give this a good press. And then once I know all the layers are nice and flat inside of there, I'm going to stitch right across this raw edge using 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. I am trimming this right up to 1/4 inch. And so that's all gone. Then I want to take this pocket that's on the back side there and turn that back around to the front side, and now my tab is out again, and I want to poke out those corners. Good. And then I'm going to give this a good press again. Test fit both sides. Fits really well. Gonna fold that in half, make sure everything aligns good, and it does. And now I want to install a little snap on the inside of each pocket. So for these snaps, I am going to use 2 of the decorative caps on each side to keep the snap from pulling the fabric apart. Another option you would have would be to interface just with a little tiny square in between these 2 layers of the pocket. But I am just going to go ahead and use the decorative cap, which will hold this snap nice and tidy. And I'm going to come down 1 inch from the top of the pocket and poke those prongs through, and I'm using my mat to make sure I get that centered. And then I'll put the female portion of that snap right on top of there, and I just use a little hammer to install my snaps. You probably do not want to use magnetic snaps with a wallet because it might deactivate your credit card strip. Then I'm going to put the male portion of the snap in there, and then I'm going to come over to the opposite pocket with one of the wider decorative heads, and I'm going to position that 1 inch down from the top of the pocket, and then a few taps. And then I come on the opposite side. And now I have a snap closure for my mini wallet here, which will hold several cards in each pocket. And now I want to show you how to craft the wristlet key fob, which can attach to that mini wallet. So I've taken the 5 by 12 inch piece of the quilt weight cotton, and I have pressed that into a 4-ply strap in half long ways. Bring those outer edges inward to meet on that center press line and fold that over again. Because this webbing is so thick and sturdy, you do not need any interfacing on this fabric. You do need to choose though which part of the fabric is going to go up, and I'm going to choose this side because there's more of the yellow dots there which coordinate with my yellow webbing, and I'm going to position this right on top of the webbing, and I'm going to stitch down that open edge first using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, then the opposite edge, and then right down the center of this. Okay, and now I have a gorgeous key fob there with 3 rows of stitching, my nice heavy duty webbing on the back, and this 12-inch length is perfect to fit over most hands, so you can carry this right on your wrist. Okay, so with this hardware, the first thing that you want to do is get one side of the key fob to grab those teeth, and so you can position that up in the fob, and then you can use your little chopstick to poke that in there so that you know that side is nice and secure and is not going anywhere. Then if needed, just trim up the opposite side so you have a nice clean edge there, and even that little tiny bit of fray there should go away. So try and get this as clean as possible, and then you're going to tuck that nice clean edge up in there as far as you can get it. And again, you can use your chopstick to kind of scooch that fabric up in there. And then you're going to need to have a cam press with the key fob attachment. So it's basically some flat plates there that you can then carefully position this between those two plates and squeeze down. And so that's what I have right now. Then I'm going to position just the edges of this key fob back under that press and give it another squeeze so I can tap down the sides of this. Now the next thing that I do, which I believe really adds to the stability of this fob, is after I have that clamped down as good as I think I can get it, I run a row of stitching 1/4 inch up from that hardware, which will also change the dynamic of this fob and add structure to that. So because this is so thick, I suggest you start right in the center of that and then go forwards almost all the way to the edge and then go backwards almost all the way to the edge and then forwards back to the center there, and then just 1 or 2 back stitches to lock that stitching in place. And then you might have to trim up just a little bit on one side. But now what happens is when you are using this wristlet key fob here, all of the pressure is stopping on that stitch line. Whereas if there was no stitch line here, that pressure would be put here on this fabric and it would eventually separate from this hardware. So that is what I think is more effective than the glue. If you have a means to put glue in there and it doesn't get all over everything and on your fingers and your work surface, that's awesome. I just am not that coordinated. So this was my way to create a nice heavy duty wristlet fob that is not going to separate from that hardware. And then the little mini wallet is a nice accessory to this. And because these key fobs come with split rings, you can just open up that split ring and slide that little fabric tab that we made right on there. And now you have a coordinating wallet and wristlet key fob set. I think these would be really popular at craft shows. They make wonderful gifts for friends and family, and you could do them in all kinds of colors and themes. So I hope you enjoyed this bonus Sewspire tutorial for a mini wallet and a wristlet key fob. Please let me know in the comments if you like the project, and be sure to check out this week's tutorial for the coordinating Presslock purse that goes with this darling set. So I'll see you all next Friday for our Presslock wallet tutorial. Thank you so much for joining me on this Saturday for a little Sewspire bonus tutorial. Hope everyone has a wonderful 4th of July weekend. Until we meet again, as always, please know the creative genius in me will be celebrating the creative genius in you.